wide, you couldn't win on the inside, you couldn't win leading. And it seems to be back now to a normal track where you can win on the inside, you can win leading, or proven yesterday you can still come from near the tail of the field. And
yeah.
I thought it was good racing there. We've come down a little bit now because the carnival's over, and the main interest there yesterday was the Steve Lumley Sprint, which the winner of that 3 series, you've got to win the 3 races, pick up a mean 100,000.
Let's have a look at the result of the first race on the program yesterday. It was the jumping event. Nick Harnett on In Control, one of Colin Hayes at 3-1. Second favourite beat the favourite Tara Ruler and Being Bold. The next race went to Rosso Verde, which began well, led throughout and scored quite nicely. Pretty promising, this one, 13-8 favourite.
Yeah, I think so. Behind the 2 runs now, and it's been well placed. Had an operation on its throat early as a young horse, and I think he's done a very good job with the horse, young Harrison.
Dial Tone, 2-1 favourite, won the next, beating Grosvenor Hall, which looked like winning up until the last little bit, but did cover a little bit of extra ground. And the 4th race on the program yesterday at Sandown Park, and this was another very interesting event.
Mr. Flash moved up there to Lucky Quintet, and Arcadia got a run up on the rail. Benbarra Prince further out, and here's Perfect Foil coming after them with Sunso. Arcadia down on the inside, and Benbarra Prince. Pepper Show getting up on the rail, and Sunso starting to come after them, but Arcadia the leader. From on the outside, Sunso, Benbarra Prince, Pepper Show and Perfect Foil. Arcadia drifting out, but it's going to be too good, and Arcadia wins the money, a length and a quarter. Sunso ahead third, Benbarra Prince.
Arcadia 4-1 defeating Sunso and Benbarra Prince. The favourite there was Creative Dance.
He's promised a young rider, that Carmichael. Bill, I think he's got a strike rate in Melbourne at present of all but 1 in 3 rides in the Metropolitan Air. I think he's won 5 out of his last 17 rides, and he's a very cool young boy. I think we're going to see a lot more of him.
Well, I think we'll just have a look what's next on the tape.
Glacier Peak's gone up quickly on the outside, then Foxwise behind them. Further back is Ashen Prince and Crown Velvet down the outside. Pradnapper's gone, and the leader, How Tough, being tackled by Glacier Peak. Foxwise got the run in the middle. Crown Velvet, and now Selton starting to get home quickly. Foxwise in front of Glacier Peak. Selton down the outside, but Foxwise kicked, and Foxwise is home. Is holding Selton and Crown Velvet. Foxwise by 2 lengths to Selton. Crown Velvet third, fourth.
Won nicely, Foxwise, 4-1. Sel's Sun came home when it was all over. Pradnapper didn't race generously.
Disappointing, Bill. Appeared to be hanging coming round the corner, and was in a winning position shortly after, but didn't go on with it at all.
And the weight just caught up with Glacier Peak in the last 100
metres. He was in a winning position with about 200 to go, but he failed to run on over the concluding. Hey, let's face it, the best horse won the race, and a very good ride by Gary Murphy on it.
Oh, it was
good
indeed.
to see Hal hoisted back in the winners list.
Yes, yeah. Let's have a look at the next on the program at Sandown.
400 to go. Manatea about a length in front of Alani Bay, My Red Rower. Hydro's Girl struggling on the outside. Taffeta Bow gets out and is coming home well. Then a gap to Lady Violet, and further back Venadu. Manatea in front down to the 100-metre mark. She's a length in front of Taffeta Bow, the challenger on the outside. They're clear of Alani Bay, but Manatea still in front. Here's Mardisi late down the outside. I think Manatea's got a winning break though, and Manatea's going to get the prize scored, 3/4 of a length. Second is Taffeta Bow. Third, I think.
Yeah, Manatea 9-2. It was holding them all, but Mardisi was the only one that was making any ground at all at the finish. Battling well.
Yes, well, Mardisi does have a habit of getting home a bit late in its races, doesn't it? But very intelligent front race riding by Gary Willits there. She handles Sandown well, and he judged and timed her run for the 1200 perfect. I don't know whether Manatea, she'll go on to the series now, whether she can get up to the 1600 or the final of this series, but certainly she's got a chance in the next series. I think comes up in about the 22nd over 1400.
4-1 favourite, Prismatic Star in the next on the program.
Homeward bound, Prismatic Star in front. Disputed Pearl moved up on the outside from My New Friend. Laurenti further out in the track. Eastern Classic and Kingston Heritage are running home well, but it's Prismatic Star and Disputed Pearl with about 150 to go. And they've got away a couple of lengths in front of Kingston Heritage. Eastern Classic finishing quickly down the outside. Disputed Pearl got to the front. Kingston Heritage starting to pack it back with Eastern Classic on the outside. It's Disputed Pearl just in front near the line, and Disputed Pearl's won about 3/4 to either Eastern Classic.
Disputed Pearl, been a very consistent galloper throughout its career. 12-1 chance, the favourite Prismatic Star, weekend on the line.
Yeah, Prismatic Star looked good about 200 metres. He just couldn't hold on, could he? I think we've got a few horses here in Melbourne, all getting ready for the Goodwood Handicap in Adelaide, and Disputed Pearl's one of them. Is a very honest horse, isn't
Oh,
he?
my word, it is.
Very honest.
Yeah. Bonded looked home for all money, 200 metres from home in the second last.
Of Bravado second, looks great back on the rail under the whip, and then Bow Lane and further back Farentino. Bonded in front down to the 200-metre mark, race 3 lengths in front now of Bravado. Then on the outside, Sunville and Jeffers Aim trying hard. Bonded's got a big break though, 150 metres to go. He's 2 or 3 in front with Sunville starting to peg him back out wide. Bonded getting tired, Sunville cutting him down. Bonded a neck in front, Sunville grabbing him on the post and gets up to win. Sunville ahead on the post.
And Sunville 15-1 rattled home to beat the favourite Bonded, and Favoured Song made up a lot of ground to run third.
Yes, it was a was something with Pat on the favourite on Bonded, Paddy Hyland. I must say I had something on it, and I did like what I saw at around about the 300-metre mark. I said, oh, this has been a pretty intelligent move. The old PH is outsmarted these boys. He's got a break on him, but towards the end up that long uphill straight at Sandown, 56.5, he just...
It's a long way on a slowish, dead track.
I tell you what, when you're riding there and you're in your front, you look up, and that winning post looks a long way away.
Here's the last on the program now, and a very good performance, and at last breaking into the winning list, Sea Brigand.
Going alone now, got to the front from Valjean and Ancroft Lad on the outside of them. They're followed by Govan down the outside. Fame the Spur getting out and coming home well. Then Begonia and down the outside, Sea Brigand at the 150. Fame the Spur moved up quickly. Here's Imperial Salute finishing fast with Sea Brigand on the outside. Fame the Spur in front. Imperial Salute starting to cut it down and wider out is Sea Brigand. Imperial Salute, Sea Brigand. Imperial Salute, Sea Brigand, and Sea Brigand in the last stride. Sea Brigand has got up to win on the...
Yeah, it's put the writing on the wall for a long time. It hasn't been able to read it, Sea Brigand, but it did yesterday at 7-2. The favourite Prince Ormenium down the track.
Down the track, all disappointing Prince Ormenium. Sea Brigand has been running in some good races, hasn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he's been always finishing fast, and last Monday at Pakenham he trialled in blinkers for the first time and absolutely bolted in, and that appears to be the secret to him.
Well, a lot of races yesterday, so let's check what the extra double paid for a start. And it was 2 and 4, paying $8.40. The daily double for 8 and 15 paid $116.30. For the quadrella, the last put a lot of people out, 4884, although it was coupled with one of the fancies in the race just the same, $692.80. And the quad extra yesterday, 8, 4, 15 and 5, and the dividend $3,481.90. Now, that was Sandown Racing, and of course we have Moonee Valley Racing tomorrow, and they've got a big program, Roy.
Yeah, it's good program there for this time of the year at the Valley. Also Wednesday, Bill, I'm not quite sure. We've got Cranbourne Thursday.
The Hamilton Tuesday and Wednesday.
That's right, the Hamilton Cup meeting, and Caulfield Saturday.
And the footy coming up on Channel 7.
There's plenty of reason for this bloke to celebrate.
Yes, Max, Wayne Harris has been responsible for one of sport's most amazing comebacks. It's only some 4 to 5 years ago when Wayne Harris was rushed to hospital for the removal of a brain tumour, and it was feared that he'd certainly never ride again. In fact, fears were held for his life at that time, but he's been battling away ever since, and it was very fitting to see him win yesterday's $200,000 Champagne Stakes on Select Prince. Select Prince was bred by our good friend Ross Cribb, the chairman of the New South Wales TAB, and is raced by a host of owners from the Australian Capital Territory, and one of the part owners, Frank Cleary, is also the trainer. Select Prince is one of the tallest two-year-olds racing in Australia, and he literally towered over most of the opposition as they came down the straight in yesterday's Classic. So let's pick them up on top of the rise, and in the Champagne Stakes, a filly called A Little Kiss is a clear-cut leader coming over the rise. Now, in second place is Interstellar with the blinkers. Now, down the outside in the yellow and red colours is the favourite Reganza. And here's the big boy, Select Prince, with the white bridle and the white breastplate coming out after the leader. A Little Kiss starts to shorten stride. Select Prince grabs her quickly. Reganza makes a late lunge on the outside in the last 50 metres, but Harris fairly lifted Select Prince over the line. And Select Prince at odds of 9 to 1 got there narrowly from Reganza, and Interstellar was a good third. Well, the win by Torific in the AJC St Ledger Stakes, which incidentally is Australia's oldest classic race, first being run in the year of 1841, was nothing short of sensational. Much like a boxer getting off the canvas or a tennis player hitting a winner from his knees. Terrific looked well and truly beaten as the field came over the rise. Now the imported mare Regency Fair raced to the lead from outgun. Terrific in third place with the red cap. Didn't look to be a 1,000,000 to 1 chance of overhauling the leader, but Regency Fair started to feel the pinch in the shadows of the post, and look at Terrific absolutely trying his heart out on the outside. Shane Dye throws everything at him, and Terrific, a tough, hard, durable former New Zealander, got up to score in the very last bound from Regency Fair in the AJC St Leger Stakes. In Melbourne yesterday, the meeting was at Sandown, and the Gippsland Sprint Final was one of the principal races on the card, and the win was a popular one for Disputed Pearl, whose recent form had been fairly consistent, and we're going to pick them up as they turn for home in the Sandown race, where the leader is Prismatic Star. Disputed Pearl on the outside is coming after it strongly, and they're clear of My New Friend, followed by Eastern Classic, and Kingston Heritage on the left-hand side of your screen in the yellow colours with the red cap is starting to work home strongly. Now, Disputed Pearl has headed off Prismatic Star. Kingston Heritage and Eastern Classic down the outside in the white cap are both charging home when it's all over, but Disputed Pearl got there to beat Kingston Heritage, and Eastern Classic was in third place. The winner is a 4-year-old, and that was his 10th win from 42 starts yesterday. In Brisbane, the action was at Eagle Farm, and the Flying Handicap was the principal race, and the winner here was Picata, a former Sydney-sider. I can remember Picata racing in Sydney when trained by Tommy Smith. He's done a lot of racing, this fellow, and yesterday was about his 62nd start. Picata has raced to the lead halfway down the straight over My Kingston Lane. Don't Play on the outside is coming home well. On the extreme outside is Beat That, and there's a horse in a white cap getting through near the rail in the concluding stages. That's Rusty Sand, which was also a good run, but old Picata was far too good, and the veteran of 60-odd starts held them out to win well. Beat That got second, and Rusty Sand finished third. As I said, Picata has been around in everything but the tradesman's trot, but he's been a very consistent horse, and it just goes to prove, Louis, my boy, that you're never over the hill, old son.
Well, spoken like a true gent, and you should know all about that, Johnny. When we return, we catch up with motorcycle racing's quite achiever, and we burn with Johnny Diesel.
The 7.2 kilometre race started with the usual rush, and punters took a dive when favourite Dixton House tumbled on the first circuit. There were all the usual casualties, but in the end, Little Polvier, a 28 to 1 chance, took the event after leading from the second circuit. He came away from the national veteran West Tip with the top weight last of the Brownies third. It was jockey Jimmy Frost's first ride in the event, and what a way to make your debut.
And a kiss for the little fella, why not? And was still...
7.2 kilometre race, only 14 out of 40 finished. The winning jockey Jimmy Frost in his Grand National debut took up the running on the second circuit and held on to win by 7 lengths. His only competition, a loose horse. Second was the 86 winner West Tip with top weight, the Thinker third. 2 Tats Lotto and the numbers...
Sanctuary Grand National was run in Liverpool overnight, and as usual it provided plenty of thrills and spills. Favourite Dixton House was a casualty at the infamous Beaches Brook, whilst there were many other victims in the marathon race. The winner was 28 to 1 chance Little Polvier, which had to contend with a riderless horse for most of the home straight before scoring a memorable win. The victory was a major triumph for jockey Jimmy Frost in what was his first attempt to win the gruelling race.
And that's it for...
Killed in this year's Grand National steeplechase in England, again sparking calls for the race to be made safer. The RSPCA says there should be fewer horses in the event and smaller obstacles.
It's undoubtedly the world's most watched steeplechase. Animal liberationists don't like the event, and this is why. Dixton House, the race favourite, took a fall on the first circuit, and Steersby couldn't quite handle the 11th fence, just 2 of the 26 race casualties in the 40-horse field. Little Polvier was never in trouble to win the Grand National, the only challenge coming from a horse that had more staying power than its jockey. In San Diego, John McEnroe was in...
Racing now, and 3-year-old Barlandy spaced a good field on a slow track at Caulfield today and is now headed to Perth for the WA Derby. Here was the first leg of a double for Darren Gauci, who now leads the Jockeys Premiership. 6 favourites scored and a pretty good day for punters. First went to Puntle at 5-1 in a good ride by Nick Harnett, desperate over the concluding stages to lift him home and win. Gay Perdita won the second, starting 9-4, first of a double for promising apprentice Tom Arnold. He was aboard Sharp Play, which came round the outside and set the pattern for the day in the next on the program, scoring at 5-2 and favourite. Fourth went to Vane Twig, very promising filly, only had the 3 starts and she'll win many more races. First leg of the quadrilla was race 5, Fame the Spur heavily backed.
He's kicked back again, Fame the Spur. He's the leader, Fame the Spur, about a length and a half in front. He's drawing away from Porter Biscay. Triumphal Queen battling on, but Fame the Spur stretching out boldly, goes on to score well. Fame the Spur by about 2.5, Porter Biscay. Third's a photo, I think Triumphal Queen, and nose to Ancroft Lad.
Fame the Spur, too good for them today, starting favourite. The third horse, Triumphal Queen, staggered out of the barriers. Next, and this is Barlandy.
3 lengths in front from High Bailiff, followed by Hunter's Ace, and back behind them Friar's Delight. But Barlandy, the mighty little 3-year-old, makes a one-act affair of it. Barlandy by 6 lengths to High Bailiff. Close for third, could be Hunter's Ace in a photo.
He was far too good, Barlandy, at 11-4 in favourite, made it 10 wins from just 21 starts. Here's how Valjean outstayed them in the next.
The outside and Imperial Salute. Valjean about a neck in front. Reef Anchor trying desperately to reach at the outside. Valjean's finding plenty though under the whip, and Valjean will go on and win it by about a half a length to Reef Anchor, and 5 lengths away third is Imperial Salute, followed by...
It was Valjean at 13-2, first try at the distance, and he did the job in good style. The last leg of the quaddie now, close one.
Matala Beach with a late run, 100 metres to go. Gladful starting to get to the lead with Royal Lullaby. Blimey Charlie fighting back. Gladful and Royal Lullaby. Gladful and Royal Lullaby go to the line together. They hit it, and I think Gladful just beat Royal Lullaby in a photo. Third might be Blimey Charlie from Beat the Habit.
It was Gladful at 7s over Royal Lullaby at 16s, and Blimey Charlie getting third in the photo at 9s. And the last, this was heavily backed Bronze Knight, and he circled the field before the turn and won it well at 2-1 in favourite, ridden by Darren Gauci. Daily double today, 2 and 11, paid 21 even. The extra, 4 and 2, 7.15. Quadrilla, $561.55 at double 278. There's a quad extra, 2, 7, 11, 1, $1,330.40. And that's all in sport tonight. Thanks, Pete.
Which footy team do you barrack for?
I've got 3, and I've had a couple of wins today. I've done well.
Essendon went down. What a drag.
Badly.
Onto the weather. Also, my